Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this really adorable stitch-headed plushie. Now, I know this was highly requested after I made my scrump plushie tutorial from years ago, but school got on the way and I just now got to making this. Now this is a perfect gift for anybody or for yourself, and you can just make this just for fun. Now I will say that I should have used a better shade of blue, but this was the only shade I really had. So anyways, I will be doing more tutorials during the summer because I'm off for the summer. And if you like this tutorial, feel free to leave a like at the end of the video and comment down below any requests or anything that you like. Now any questions, also comment down below. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay guys, so first thing is first, you'll want to download the template that I left in the description box, and you'll want to cut out all your pieces as you can see right here. And I'll even note on the template how many of each you're going to have to cut for your fabric. The first one that you'll want to take is this piece right here. This is going to be the nose. So you'll want to do is cut one of these in a dark blue. And what you're going to do is sew these three little triangles together. So you're going to sew those two sides together, these two down here together, and then these two down here. I'll show you how it should look. So this is how my piece looks like. As you can see, if you were to turn it inside out, it would look like this. Now on the template, I did mark a little part right here that sort of shows the middle of the piece right here. I marked on the template, and you can mark it on your fabric too. As you can see, I marked mine right there, and that's going to help you on later on. Now let's move on to the next pieces. Okay, so the next thing you'll want to do is work with the ears. You'll notice there's two patterns, one with the little ripped off ear parts down here, and one where it's higher up here. Now it doesn't matter which way you put them or anything like that, or which side each ear is going to be, but just make sure to cut out one in pink and one in the blue. Now just put those two together, right side in, and you'll want to sew all the way around, even around that little gap right there, until you get down to the bottom. Leave that part right here unsewn. Do the same for the other ear piece. Just put those two together and sew all the way around that little gap too, and down here, and I'll show you how those should look. So this is how my ears are looking like. Now go ahead and turn these inside out. Okay, so for this next step, you'll want to work with one ear at a time. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be folding the bottom of the ears inwards, and what this is going to do is going to create that little folded ear effect right here, because that's how Stitch has his. Now you'll also want to have your thread and needle ready, and what you'll want to do is fold it like this. So don't make the mistake of folding it straight like this, because it's going to cause it to fold all the way up. You'll want to fold it, and you're doing it right if you see a little piece right there in the middle of the inside color. So basically just poke your needle from the bottom, and don't worry about making your stitches look ugly right here, because you're not going to be seeing this part down here where you're sewing. And then just go from one end to the other, and just keep making stitches until you think it's secure. This is how mine looks like, as you can see, and this is how the back looks like, the bottom. Now go ahead and do the other ear the exact same way. Okay, so put the ears aside and grab two of these shapes. You're going to cut out four, but right now you're only going to be doing two. So put them both like right side inwards, facing together, and then you just sew at the bottom tip, just sew on the right side right here until you get, like, I would say an inch or a little less than an inch, and then you stop. You don't want to sew all the way completely, just like this. Now it doesn't really matter which point you start sewing, from the top to bottom or bottom to top. It all depends on how you're sewing or what kind of sewing method you're using. Anyways, go ahead and put this on the side. Now go ahead and grab your remaining two pieces of this shape and your other two pieces right here. Now basically what you'll want to do right here is just go ahead and place it on top of the other one. I don't know if you can even tell, but this one's supposed to be a lighter shade than this one. But anyways, what you're going to do is just pin it down, and you'll just hold that right now, and then I'll show you what to do with one of these. Go ahead and grab your nose piece, and you'll want to take one of these two. It doesn't matter which one you take, I don't know, whichever one you're working better with. But anyways, I'm probably going to be doing this one. So what you'll want to do is place it with the wrong side upwards, like right side down. Now take your nose and look where it was that you marked your little middle area. Mine's is right here, and then it should be directly aligned with this seam right here. So it should be this, and then directly up is that little marking. Make sure to get something that you can mark or trace with. This is what I usually use for tracing or marking on any of my fabrics. I got these pins at Doll Maker's Journey. I'm not sure if you can get them somewhere else. You probably can. Basically what these are, you can mark on your fabric or anywhere, and you just get rid of with heat. So you can use a hair dryer or iron or something like that. Just something hot, and it'll immediately remove it. So that's a good thing. So basically what you'll want to do is find where that little marking is, and also where that seam is. Basically this right here is gonna divide it in half. So align that little top marking with this side right here, and the bottom seam as well. So align those two, and it should like sort of divide it in half. Now once you have it aligned, what you want to do is take your little marking pen or pencil or whatever it is you're using, and sort of try to trace around that pattern right there. So just trace around it and try to be as careful as you can. This is how mine looks like. And basically what you want to do is go ahead and cut that little shape out. One thing I would like to note is when you're tracing, don't go anywhere lower than that blue piece that you put right there. That's the reason why you pinned it down, so that way you know where to stop. You don't want to go any lower than that, or go like right on top of it or anything. You want to go a little bit higher than that. That's how you know where to place your nose piece. That's how I knew. Feel free to remove the little pins in that little top fabric that you put, just for a second. So now that you have this cut, you'll want to put it right on top of your other piece, and this is going to tell you where to cut the same exact shape on the other piece. So I would just pin them down real quick. You don't have to do the whole tracing thing. This is probably a little easier than that. Just pin them, and then just cut in that little, within that shape right there. Okay, so now that that's done, what you want to do is take your other two pieces that you had earlier, place them back on top, and now you can choose to just sew the top part right here. That's just to sew it down and secure it, so when the finished product, this part ain't loose or anything like that. The stitch that you're going to use to sew this, it doesn't really matter. You can choose whatever stitch you want. I'm just going to be using a fell stitch, so make sure the top is attached. You don't have to, but I recommend it. Okay, so once you have these two pieces sewn down or glued, it doesn't matter, you can take your two eye pieces. You're going to put them right here. You'll want to slant them slightly, because I noticed that on reference picture Stitch has his eye sort of slanted or diagonally sort of. So just sort of slant them. So just try to adjust and see where you feel like they should go, and then once you have it sort of the way you like it, pin them down and sew them down the same way you sewed these, or you can glue them on, it doesn't matter. So now you'll want to take your smaller eye pieces in black, and you'll just want to place them sort of in the middle of that, bigger eye piece that you put, and these also need to be slightly slanted the same way the other ones are slanted. Now you can either choose to glue these down or sew these down like you did these, if you did that. So the last part for the eyes is just these two little white pieces, and you'll just attach them right here near the top. Now you can choose to sew these down, but I'm just going to glue these this time. So now you can place these two pieces together, right side in between. So just make sure it's all aligned right, and then you can sew from this point down to this one right here. Do not sew anywhere near the half circle areas yet. And then you'll want to sew from that point right here all the way down to the bottom. So this is how my two pieces look like sewn together. You can even put it inside out and you'll see how it's starting to look like. Now anyways, what you'll want to do now is grab your nose piece. This one right here. Now you'll just want to turn it inside out. There's different ways to attach it, but this is just the way I'm showing y'all. And you'll want to make sure that bottom piece, you know, there's 1, 2, and then 3 right here. Make sure that bottom one aligns with the bottom seam right here. So it should sort of go along with that one. Now just sort of fit it in through that hole and align that little marking, the one that we did way earlier, align it to this right here, that seam. And then you can just pin it down, and I'll show you how it should look like when I do it. This is how mine looks like, as you can see. Now you can just go ahead and take some dark blue thread and just go ahead and sew these two pieces together. Your piece should start looking like this, and if you sewed it like I told you to, then it should look sort of like this, and you can pop it out and it's starting to look more like stitch now. Now we can get the other pieces. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put all our pieces together. So go ahead and take one of your ear pieces and just place it inwards with that face piece. So just go ahead and put it slightly slanted and make sure that the little area where you sewed is sticking out a little more, so that way when you sew and you see it, it won't be showing or anything like that. So make sure that's sticking out a little more. And you'll want to do the same for the other one over here. You can also do one side at a time if you find it's getting too crowded. Now when you do this, you'll just want to go ahead and pin these down wherever you're going to want them out. Now you can take your back head piece and go ahead and line it as well. So align the top along with the other seam right here, and you can go ahead and pin this around too. Like I said, you can do one side at a time, so you can go ahead and pin this side, sew it, and then you go to this one. It's all up to you. So now you can sew all the way around, but one thing to remember is to leave a little gap, just like you did right here for this one. You'll want to leave a little small area where you don't sew on both this side and this side, but you can go ahead and sew all the way around too. Just stop before you reach the end. Sorry about the last few clips, guys. Anyways, that's pretty much the last step to making this plush. As you can see, it's all done. Now that step that I mentioned about sewing a little bit of the ears to the head, that actually helps not only tilt them up slightly, but it also helps keep them up standing when you just put them like that, as opposed to them just flopping around everywhere. So anyways, I really hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. Please be sure to leave some requests down in the comment section of other characters that you want me to do, or other different types of tutorials. And like I said, this is going to be a pretty awesome plush to make for anybody or for yourself. And I think it looks a lot like Stitch. I don't know, there's a few things that I could have done better, such as use the right shade of colors, but you know, I just worked with what I had. Anyways guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial, and y'all have a great day.